Okay, in this video, I am going to show you how to connect your email to EveryChat, whether it's a Gmail or an Outlook email address. I'm going to show you how to import your history, and then we're going to go take a quick tour of the inbox, and I'll show you some of the core features in that system. So let's start off with connecting an email. To do that, and you've likely already found this page, so I don't necessarily need to show you how to find it, but if you found this video in this helper section up here, to find this page, you'll go to Profile Settings, and then you will go to Email Inboxes over here on the left, and then you should see something like this here. Of course, you're not going to see emails connected to the screen if you haven't already connected some, so yours will likely be empty. To connect your first email, what you can do is you can click Connect Email up here at the top left, and then you can select the provider that you want to connect that email from. So in this case, I'm going to connect to Gmail inbox. I'm going to click Next. It's going to take me into the email picker. I'm going to pick the email address that I want to connect here. It might have you check a box somewhere up here. Since I've connected this email many times to EveryChat before, EveryChat already has the permissions needed. But just know if it does have a checkbox, make sure you check that so EveryChat gets access to the email. We can read data in, you can reply to emails from EveryChat. It's what helps the system actually function. So we're going to click Continue from this point forward. And then what it's going to take you into, you're going to have two final steps. You're going to select how people are going to view this email address in your system. If it's a personal inbox, nobody else can view it other than you. If it's a shared inbox, then it's going to be accessible to anybody. But you can go into each individual team member account within EveryChat and specify, okay, you don't get access to this email, but this other person does. So a shared inbox can then go, you can dig into it more on a granular permission level and say exactly which team members get to see it. So shared is not just an open inbox. You can dig into team member accounts and hide things individually. In this case, I'm going to say it's a shared inbox. I'm going to click Next. And then you're going to select the amount of email history that you want to import into EveryChat. You can import data from as long as 2 years ago, but just know, since we are pulling in all of this data from your email account, and since you're running a business, if this is your main email account, there is going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of emails in that system. So going all the way back to a year, 2 years ago, this is going to take a little bit to process, especially if we're pulling in attachments and we're doing all of that. So there is a bit of not necessarily, the strategy isn't the right word, but there is a consideration as to how much data your team needs here in EveryChat. The further you go back, the longer it's going to take to actually get started inside of EveryChat, because our system has to go pull all of that data, organize it, and then save it in our system. Whereas if you just stick with something around this time frame, it won't take all that long and you can start using EveryChat a bit quicker. So in this case, I'm just going to say 3 months for right now. I am going to click Next, and then we're just going to click Start Import. Now what this is going to do is it's going to start syncing or pulling emails from the months. In this case, it might be 3 months back, it might be more. And it's going to start pulling in those emails. You do not have to sit on this screen waiting for these emails to come in. You are more than welcome to go click on another page or go somewhere else in the system while this processes. So I could refresh the page here and just demonstrate. It might already be done now, considering that the importer here isn't on the screen. So we can actually just go jump over to the inbox, and I can show you what that looks like. Now, I suppose before we jump to the inbox, I can actually show you a few settings within this email. So you always have the option to go back and switch it to a personal inbox. That's always an option, or switch it back to a shared inbox. You can change the way we sort emails in your inbox. Now, these little pieces of content down here will tell you exactly what each category or what each type means. So latest activity is just going to sort the emails to the top that have recent activity in them. A new reply, for example, that's going to push it back up to the top. However, for those companies who might work their inbox from the bottom to the top, meaning they might sort their inbox from oldest to newest, one of the things that we frequently got feedback on was in the event that somebody emails us, say 3 hours ago. Or let's push it back even further. Maybe they email us 6 hours ago and we haven't replied to them yet. And then maybe 3 hours later, they email us again, but our team has not replied to them yet. We do not want to push them back to the top of the inbox, or in this case, if you're sorting it from oldest to newest, they would go back to the bottom and you wouldn't end up seeing them. They would get pushed back to the last, they would be last in line effectively. So what this essentially does is it organizes the emails based on the first email since you replied. And that way, if they email you twice before you reply, they're not going to fall back to the back in line. They're going to stay where they are in the inbox, so you and your team can work the inbox and the emails accordingly based on who has been sitting in the inbox the longest, and work those emails first. That's what need response is all about. Then you have response time warnings. This is going to be a system to help you figure out who's been sitting in the inbox the longest and actually warn your team, hey, this lead has been sitting in the inbox for 2 hours now. We need to handle this. So you could say, okay, maybe I want to display a warning at 120 minutes or 2 hours. And then I want to start assigning team members to this system to notify that, or to that email to notify them, hey, you got to handle this. Now, if you select multiple people here to assign to an email that has been put into a response time warning state, we are not going to assign 2 people. What the system is going to do is it's going to look at how many emails each team member has already been assigned to, and it's going to perform a round robin assignment process. So it's going to say, oh, maybe AJ here already has 7 emails, but John has 3. We're going to assign that email to John because he might still have some availability and he's going to be able to take this email over. He has some time in his schedule per se. That's how the system is viewing it. So round robin will just evenly distribute assignments across the team. And then, of course, we also have the feature where if you want to, we can notify your team by sending a text or an email to that person who was assigned to that email. This is going to be more of a summary email, so we're not going to spam them every time a new email goes into a response time warning state. What we're going to do is after some period of time, we're going to batch a bunch of emails that have gone into this state together. So in that email, in that text, they might get 5 different emails or 5 different email indicators within that text message saying, hey, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 emails that haven't been replied to yet. Here's how to go find them. You got to get this handled. So it's a summary email basically of like how many emails are currently sitting in this warning state. Then of course you have your basic features like custom folders, custom tags, and then you can build out keyword rules. So if a specific keyword shows up in an email, you can go on here and say, okay, maybe I want anything that says quote in an email. I want to assign that to a team member, or maybe I want to send them an automated email. You have those custom actions here in the system. So that is a little overview of the settings here in the email inbox or the email address that you've connected. Let's actually dig into the inbox now, and I'll show you around. So we're going to click on the inbox icon top left, and then we're going to jump over here on the left side, and you're going to see that email that we pulled into the system. So as you might have seen, during that import process, it has pulled in all of my emails for the last 3 months, and that's what you're seeing here. And from this point forward, it's now going to be a 2-way sync. So any new emails that are sent to that email address that you've connected to EveryChat will now show up in they'll now show up in EveryChat. They will also show up in Gmail. Anytime you reply to something from EveryChat, that reply will also appear in Gmail. If you reply to something from Gmail, that same reply will then show up in EveryChat. It's a 2-way sync, so both your systems don't fall out of sync, and you don't end up maybe switching to EveryChat, but then Gmail falls behind, and it's impossible for you to use anymore because you don't have your data there. That's not how this works. It's a 2-way sync. Both systems will stay up to date. There may be some exceptions where when you create custom folders inside of EveryChat, those aren't going to sync back over to Gmail just because of some technical issues. So those custom folders that you create in EveryChat, because we have additional business logic built on top of this inbox that isn't compatible in Gmail, those will not 2-way sync. So just keep that in mind. Same thing with custom labels, custom tags. Those are EveryChat specific. It's your organization method, and you can build out whatever organization structure that you want in EveryChat, because we're going to continue building business logic on top of this to help you have a much more powerful inbox, even beyond what we're giving you now. So let's dig into this inbox real fast. What you're going to see is your inbox is now broken down into effectively working and done. That's what open and closed means over here. So open is everything that you still need to get done once you complete, or once you're done working with a customer. Let's just say in this email here, once you're done working with them, you can close that email, mark it as done, and then you'll see that email in the close tab. And you're effectively cleaning up your main thread. In that way, your main thread doesn't just get cluttered with stuff that's already completed, and you can simply focus on the things that still need to be done. Search feature, that's going to help you dig into the inbox and find different things. You can search by subject, search by email address, search for content within the email. That all works here. Then you have filters to filter by tags. You can filter by the team member assigned to the email. And then you also can say, okay, show me everything that's currently in that response time warning state. And then you can also find stuff between dates. Regarding folders and how you see emails within folders, or how you even see emails within tags, of course, I showed you that you can perform a filter to see things see all the emails that have a certain tag on them. But you can also do so over here. Now, if I just say, I'm going to throw cool label on a few things here just to demonstrate, and if you can drag and drop. From there, if I just want to see everything with those labels on it, I'll just click on that, and it'll immediately find all of those labels here. If I want to go back to the main inbox, I can just click on the primary tab, and that'll take me back here. If I want to click or go find things in my promotions or social, I can click on here. I don't have anything, but that would be how you go look at custom folders. Any custom folders can be created from the inbox here, or they can be created on that settings page that we looked at previously. So I can click add folder. I can do my fun folder here, click save. You'll see it appear here, and I can click on that. Of course, I don't have anything in the folder right now, but that's going to be how that works. So from here, just a quick run through of this section. Much of it is self-explanatory. You know what unread is, you know what drafts are, basic email features. Assign is going to show you everything that's been assigned to you. So maybe I'm going to assign a few things to myself here. We'll do that email, and we will do that. And if you're not familiar with the assigned concept, it's just a way to indicate to team members, hey, you need to manage this, or hey, I'm handling this, you can move on to the next email. That's what team member assignments is all about. So when emails get assigned to you, you can just go over here to the assign tab and see, okay, here's everything that I need to manage. And maybe once you've completed that email, you can unassign yourself, and then that will get it out of your main thread, and then it will appear unassigned to the rest of your team. The feed is a feature that we have called team chat. Now, this is going to be anytime something new appears in your feed, that is because somebody has gone into an email here and said, and they would use this team chat feature. So what they would do is they would click on this team chat button, and they might say at Riley, let's just say I'm another team member here adding myself. So at Riley, what's going on? And from there, you're going to see that message here in the thread. But one thing that I can also do is I can go over to the feed and say, oh, one of my team members just tagged me in that email. I can reply back to them, nothing, no big deal, or something like that. And I can reply back to them, and then that's going to clear out my feed because I've replied to them. It's handled. There's nothing more that I need to do in this feed. So it's a list of things that team members have tagged you in, asking questions, posting comments. And so it's just kind of your way to keep track of who's saying what to me and what do I need to handle. And then from there, we can dig into one of these emails here. So within an email, I'm just trying to find a good one to look at. We'll just open this email here. You'll have a few things. And within this email, you'll be able to reply. Now, there will be an action bar down here, which I can show you in just a second. But effectively, what the action bar there at the bottom is going to show you is, your button to reply. marking things as unread, closing out the email, assigning team members. It's going to be quick actions that you can use to move this email accordingly in the system, like applying a label or applying a tag. It's going to be about like assigning a team member, or of course, if you need to reply to this email, that button down there will give you access to quickly reply to them. But in this case, sometimes you might want to reply to a specific email in the thread. You can click this little reply button here and say, you can write your message. And within this message, you're going to have several things. You're going to have your scheduling links if you're using EveryChat scheduling features to book meetings without asking, hey, what time works for you, and going back and forth on that. This handles it. It's basically automated scheduling. You send a link to somebody and they book a meeting based on your Google Calendar or Outlook calendar integration, because we're scanning to see what times are available, and we can present the available times so you don't get double bookings. And then the remaining items here, you can of course send attachments. Here are your message templates. So if you get common questions, or there are common subjects that come up, you can save a template for it, and you don't have to rewrite the email every single time. That's what templates are all about. You'll find those in texting. You'll find those across all of our channels. These are just emojis that you can paste into the message, and then you can have a custom review invitation. So maybe a job has went well. Somebody said, hey man, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate working with you. You can send them a review invitation to go post that on Google or Facebook. So that's the general gist of these features right here. Now, as far as some additional things that you might not notice right away, one of which is a feature called clipping. And clipping is a way to take an email, take a text message, take a form submission, take anything that's coming through EveryChat and turn it into an actionable item. The biggest example that I've heard in the past from other companies is somebody said, hey, can you please take me off the schedule next week? We've got something going on at our house or at our property. You guys can't come by because it's going to be busy or it's going to be chaotic. And the team says, yep, we'll get that handled. But something after that comes up, the team forgets about it, and then your field team ends up showing up at their property, and you guys look unprofessional. I've heard that many times. So what we ended up doing is building a feature where you can simply highlight the text, click Save Clip, turn it into a to-do, and you can save that in the system and assign it to team members. You can assign it to or organize it by the customer who requested that task, and then you can create notes around that to-do, and you can find all of your to-dos up here at the top, and you can work through that list. And of course, if you assign to-dos to team members, it will appear on their custom list. They're not going to see your to-dos. You're not going to see their to-dos. You're just going to see exactly what you need to do. So I think that basically sums up everything that is kind of important to help you get started here in the inbox. We talked about adding your emails, syncing past or importing past emails into the system. Clipping, we've talked about response time warnings, we've talked about team member assignments and our capability to do round robin assignments when things go into say a state of you need to handle this, like it's been sitting in your inbox too long. We can automatically assign team members based on their current workload. We have a ton of features, and we will continue building in a lot of features. And one thing that I wasn't able to demonstrate in this video here because I don't have a lot of great test data, but these emails are effectively an audit trail. So what you're going to see here is that over time, as people perform actions in the system, that audit trail is going to, grow, and you're going to see exactly who assigned a tag, exactly who moved this item to a folder, who closed out the email, who sent the reply. You're going to see exactly who's handling what, when it happened, so you know exactly what's going on within the business, and it's not just things happening in the inbox that you have no recollection of. We'll help you keep track of that. You can, privately message each other within these conversations. Of course, these will not be seen by the customer or the person that you're talking to. These are private messages between you and the team. Just a way to get questions answered, collaborate, and look more professional to customers. So that is the basic summary of the email feature. If you do have questions, please let me know. But this was a semi deep dive into the email feature, but there are certainly more things that we can talk about, especially as we add new features to the system.